Hey, what's up, guys? Naked Teacher here, reporting live from Novosibirsk, Russia, and broadcasting throughout the world thanks to YouTube. What's going on with you guys today? I hope all is great with you, all is great with me, but except, as usual, it's pretty damn hot in this room. Now, I've gotten numerous requests from subscribers of mine asking me to make videos helping them to either lose their accent or make videos helping them, giving them tips or pointers on how to improve their English. Well, today I have 5 great tips when it comes to improving your English. But mostly this is for vocabulary. But I think it's more than just vocabulary because, it might also help you with your grammar. It might help with the grammar a little bit, but this is, for me, how I improved my vocabulary when I was learning to understand Russian. Now, I don't speak much Russian, but what I do realize is I'm starting to have the ability to take care of myself here in Russia, understanding other people's Russian. So for example, there have been times where I used to always need someone to call a taxi. I would need someone to order pizza. I would need someone to talk to the delivery guys who bring me my water because I order a whole lot of water at once. And I realized during this winter, and I guess for a year, I haven't needed the help. I can do all that myself. And when I realize I'm doing it myself, it's like, holy crap, how did this happen? And it's funny, one more example. Yesterday, I got a call on my old phone. It was on my old phone. No one calls me on that phone anymore because it's my old one. But I got a call, and this lady was just going off in Russian, blah, 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 like super duper fast. She sounded like she was advertising a product. She's like, la, 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 la. But I managed to figure out what she was saying, and I was like, oh, you want to know, well, I said it in terrible Russian, but I replied to her in Russian. I said, oh, you want to send me some water again. You want to know if I'm ready to order again. She said, exactly, yes. I'm like, okay, I can order. It's a little early, but I can order. Bring it tomorrow at 12, and I will pay for it. Had this been 6 months ago, I would have been like, what? I wouldn't have understood a damn thing. But anyway, let's get to it. 5 ways to improve your English with the Naked Teacher, or from the Naked Teacher. Number 5, and I guess I'll write them. Why not? Why not write it? And it's not really in any specific order, honestly, but I guess you might see it that way. Number 5 is music. And music is number 5, and it would probably be looked at number 5 on his list as the least of all the other ones when it comes to effectiveness. Because depending on the kind of music you listen to, it might not be a good idea for you to learn from that music. So if you're listening to hip hop, especially the new hip hop with the mumble rap, and the old one too, old hip hop too, you may pick up some really bad habits and words and phrases that you shouldn't actually use. You understand? You may say things to make you look weird depending on your racial or ethnic or nationality, background. It may make you look strange. So it's a good idea to be careful when you're learning English through rap music, because most of that, or a lot of that, is Ebonics. Ebonics is Black American slang. It's really a slang that's looked down upon, but once in a while those words will go into popular culture, which makes it then slang. Then it's used so much sometimes that it goes into the dictionary, which is when it becomes proper American English, okay? So from hip-hop, not too much of a good idea, but from other art forms, I believe is pretty acceptable. So what did I do when I was learning to understand Russian? It was simple. I had 2 favorite artists in Russian. It was this guy named Ivan Dorn, he's still my favorite, and this group called, I can never say it right, but Nautilus Pompilus. The guy, the lead singer name is Butusov, and I like a lot of their music. So what I did was I would find the lyrics in Russian and translate it word for word in English and see what I can learn from it. I would just be like, oh, that's what that means. Oh, that's what this word means. Now remember, when you're learning something word for word, that's not always good. Because when you're learning word for word, there may be some phrases or idioms or phrasal verbs in there that aren't translated properly by the translator. So for example, I can say, tomorrow I will run into my mom, I think. I think tomorrow I'll run into my mom. They can translate it literally as running into my mom, when that's not what that means. So maybe there's a website called phrasal verb finder or idiom finder or something. If there isn't, maybe I'll make it. Maybe I can make it with some people. And make sure there's no idioms or phrases in there. And once you find them, if there is any, and you know which ones are phrasal verbs or idioms or whatnot, then you should be fine. You're going to learn a lot of new stuff. And plus, it's your favorite song. You listen to the song all the time, and the more you listen to it, the more you memorize it, and you'll learn a lot of that vocabulary. And last thing, and I do this, I don't know if people realize it, and I'm always thinking like, man, does anyone realize what I'm doing? Sometimes I will speak to someone in Russian using the words from a song, like the exact words from a song, but it makes sense in our conversation. Especially if I'm talking to a girl and I'm trying to be romantic, I will literally think of one of my favorite songs, one of those phrases, say this phrase to her. It's like, oh, that's so sweet. And I'm like, yeah, I know, I'm romantic and shit, you know, but I got it from a song. A perfect example, my favorite phrase, and girls always laugh when I say this. So if a girl is being shy here in Russia, I immediately say, "Не надо стесняться." And that means don't be shy. How do I know that? It's from one of my favorite songs by Ivan Dorn. So music definitely helps a lot. Just don't get caught like saying something that's obviously from a song unless you're trying to be funny, or they're like, you're stealing this from the song and blah blah blah. Okay, number four is movies. You guys, movies. Now I think learning from movies is a little better than learning from music, because movies follow rules a little more than music. In certain art forms and music, you don't have to follow any rules. Like especially hip hop music, you don't need to follow any grammatic rules or nothing. Okay, but in movies, depending on the character who's speaking, you know, maybe if you have a lawyer character, it's better to listen to what he's saying better than a prisoner or something like that. But in movies, they usually follow better grammar. So what I do, usually I'll watch a movie, and if I like it and I want to watch it again, I can watch it again with Russian subtitles. So my favorite TV show, and I watch it all the time, I can't stop watching it, is called The People versus O.J. Simpson. And so when I want to learn some new Russian words, especially Russian words that deal with law, I would watch the serial again with Russian subtitles. And sometimes I will learn new words from the subtitles because I know what they're saying in English, and I just find that word in the subtitles and maybe I'll write it down, okay? So movies is a great idea. So the first time you watch the movie, I don't suggest this, but if you like the movie and want to watch it again, definitely add the subtitles of the language you want to learn and write down any words you might want to learn, okay? And just hopefully you understand that sometimes you take numerous words together. It might be a phrase. You have to make sure it's not a phrase or phrasal verbs, because you might not get the answer right. Almost dropped the marker, okay? And number three, oh wait, I wrote it down. Number three, we all need these. Friends. Now this, when I say friends, it's better to have native speaking friends, but not everyone has native speaking friends. People who actually grew up in a country in which English is their first language. That's not easy to find. You know, it's not easy at all. So it's really useful. It's extremely useful. So for me in Russia, the reason why I understand Russian so much is because I am constantly around people who speak no English. Now, I don't communicate with many people in Russia. I have a small amount of friends because I like that. But when I do make a new friend who doesn't speak any English, I have to listen to them speak Russian all the time. And as time goes on, I'll start to realize there's certain word patterns and stuff that they use, and I start to understand what they mean. And now whenever anyone else says it, I understand it automatically. So it comes with a process and it comes with time. So when I say friends, native speaking friends, I mean friends from a country where English is the first language. Here in Russia, like sometimes they're like, oh, we have a native speaker. And he's from a country where English is not their first language at all. Like, he learned English as his third or fourth language, and his accent is terrible. He has like an accent nobody wants. So that's not a good idea. That's what I mean by native speaking, a native speaking teacher, like someone, or just native speaking person, is like somebody who's from a country where English is their first language. You know, that's really simple. So friends, very important. We all need them. We all want them. Sometimes we hate them, but they're good to have, okay? Number two, books, people. Books. You know, I have I don't know where it is. I might go grab my book right now. I have a book. All right, you know what? I'm going to go grab my book. Hold on, guys. Don't do anything crazy. Hold on. All right, I'm back. I got my book. Okay. If you laugh, I kill you. It's a deal, okay? I have this book here. It's called Universität Monsterov, like University Monsters. And it's very, very basic Russian. I'm kind of embarrassed right now. I'm kind of shy. Phil, не надо стесняться. But anyway, you can see like there's words and stuff here that I didn't understand, so I underline them. And whenever I read it, I make sure I understand all the underlined words. And if I don't, I have to go back and study them again. Okay, so this is a basic book. It has pictures. It helps me to understand. I know some of you are laughing right now, and I'll find you. I'll find you. And yeah, I didn't get to this part yet. So, you know, these are the parts I was doing. And yeah, you know, so my thing really in Russia is me trying to just understand as much as possible, because I don't really need to speak it because I don't communicate with many people here. I just communicate with the people who are close to me. I'm not that involved in Russia. So like, I don't have a job, so, you know, I don't need to know Russian. I don't have that many friends, and most of my friends speak English. So even though I'm here, you know, the only time I have to speak Russian, is when I have to go to the store and buy food, or maybe buy clothes, and it's very, very small. They'll ask me, "Paket da большой, пожалуйста." Like, it's very, very basic stuff that I know. But the other things, I really don't need it, you know? So, there you go. Number two is books and articles as well. Like, maybe news articles. You could read them for learning purposes, trying to learn English. But articles might be really hard, you know? So, I don't know. Maybe you want to start off with, depending on your level, children's books, maybe junior high school level. That's ages. Junior high school level in America is ages, that's grade, like I'm a psychic. That's grade 6, 7, and 8. Yes. So that's like ages 11 to 13 or 11 to 14. And high school is like 14 to 18. So those are different levels, okay? And number one, and I guarantee you this will be very, very helpful. Notepad, people. Notepad. Extremely helpful. The Notepad. Notepads are awesome. You have to go get yourself a notepad. I have one right now. Now, how should you use this notepad if you have one? Well, this is what I did back in the day when I was learning Russian, when I was in America. What I did was I had two things. I had flashcards, which is good and effective, but it's a little too much when you have like a bunch of words. So a flashcard is basically like one card, and both sides are empty until you write on them. So look at one side, it said red, krasne, and you turn it, it's krasne. Yeah, krasne, red. I got it right. Right. I used to do that, but what I found is more effective is a notepad. So for example, with this notepad here, I can write in one space. I could write happy. I could write happy, angry, for example, right? And I can have that here. Or on this side, I can have the Russian translation. Like, I've got happy, like счастливый or веселый. And then angry is like zloy, right? And I have it here. So when I'm looking here, I'm like happy, da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, like that. But the reason why it's very effective to do this is because you can't see these when you're looking at this. You know, and it's best when you have a partner. It's amazing when you have a partner. So it's like number one, happy. Number two, angry. Blah, 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 blah. So you can say, I'm doing number 7. Is number 7 revnuyu, like revnos or revnuyu, whatever. Like I'm jealous of revnuyu. And they can be like, oh yeah, it is. So like this, when you have a partner, it's extremely effective. You and your wife can learn together. You and your husband can learn together. All that stuff. And you can tell my Russian speaking is absolutely terrible, but I understand a lot. Like, that's my thing. I know nothing about Russian grammar. That's my problem. The day I learn Russian grammar and the day I understand it for 5 seconds is the day I'm actually going to speak some pretty cool Russian. But I'm not in a rush because it's not making me any money right now. It's not doing anything for me. And this is my last 2 years here, so I'm kind of cruising speaking English here. So my Russian actually gets worse. My verbal actually gets worse over time, but my understanding is getting much better, and it's actually pretty cool. I like listening to people's conversations sometimes, you know what I mean? And yeah, that's basically it. The Notepad is a great idea, especially if you have a partner or even some friends who can help you with the translations on the other side. It's a lot of fun. It's very much fun. It's extremely effective. And it's cheap. A Notepad is cheap. Like, you can either walk around with it everywhere you go, or you can just leave it at home. And if you hear or read something interesting in English that you don't understand, you can put it in a notepad on your phone. And when you get home, put it on the notepad in your house. And then you're able to study from it. So there you go, guys. Hopefully this was effective. Music, movies, friends, books, notepad. And that's basically it, guys. Thanks for watching. Any other ideas, videos for me to make for you guys, let me know. I think after this, I'm going to do 5 things you should know about the Naked Teacher, just so you understand me a little better. And that's basically it, guys. All right. Later. God damn it.